Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready to make some money today. If you guys are watching the replay, stick around because depending on the questions that people ask, definitely going to be dropping some knowledge when it comes to sourcing. If possible, I can help someone. So yeah, looking forward to a good stream. If you are in the replay, feel free to skip ahead while we're waiting for some people to come hang out with us. But if you are here, if you have any questions, let me know and we'll just hang out. Exactly. Got to give people a reason to stick around because, yeah, definitely up for talking about sourcing when people have questions about that. So got to post to Instagram and let people know that we are live. What are some business things you're thinking about going to in July? Yep, we are getting close to July, and let's see. So the main thing is with Amazon, I've basically been scaling really hard for the last 7-8 months probably, and I've been paying ourselves and also at the same time been reinvesting into inventory. So the way that is it would be amazing to actually pay ourselves a little bit more. So part of the plan for July is it's weird not spending more month over month on inventory, but July, I probably will be spending a lot less on inventory and going to be working on paying ourselves a lot more. So that's going to be cool. I'm also reinvesting into a ticket selling business as well, on the side of Amazon as well. So that's going to be really fun to learn and get into alongside Amazon. And then also in July and the end of June, I'm really wanting to do a lot more live streams and up the quality of my videos. So a big focus of July is going to be YouTube, ticket selling business, getting my feet wet with that, and like consolidating Amazon to make it a bit more efficient as far as profit. And like not trying to work a ton. Like I don't want to do all these things at like 50 hours a week, because you only live once. Also coming into July, a lot of people would say that there's a summer slowdown, especially eBay sellers. Yeah, YOLO, exactly. But you're not going to have a legitimate summer slowdown unless you're buying stuff that just doesn't move in the first place. If you're buying stuff that actually has a lot of sales velocity, if you're on eBay, you can tell that there's a lot of sold listings. You're still going to get good sales. It might not be as quick as Q4, but you're definitely still going to get sales. And the way to get more sales is to list more items. So if you feel like, oh, there's a summer slowdown, I have to slow down the listing, then you're going to end up making what you're fearing like actually true, because if you're not listing, you're not going to be selling stuff. Especially with Amazon, it tends to show up like 3 weeks later because the stuff goes inbound. Last summer, though, a lot of people went super hard with the chlorine in the pools. At that point, I was transitioning out of books. So I definitely wasn't in that as much. But some people definitely didn't have a summer slowdown last summer. Thoughts on high ROI versus volume? Either way, you can kind of look at it and think about how much potential profit would I be making in a month. So it could be an $80 item, but it's extremely slow volume, and it looks like you could only sell 2 every month. So, I mean, that would be $160 a month, but it's still a slower item. Or you could have something that sells, I don't know, 16 times for $10 profit. That's a much faster item, but also all things considered, it's around the same. So a cool thing about volume is that if you have more volume with less customer issues, that's just a good thing for your account health. But then the high ROI just ends up meaning that you usually have to do less work or keep track of less things. If you have high profit items, there's just less work that you have to do. A cool thing is that if it's high volume, if it sells fast, a cool perk of that is, let's say you made a sourcing mistake and the item crashed a little bit. It's much easier to just drop your price and have it sell very quickly, and you can get your money back and put it into something else. But if you make a mistake on something that's extremely high ROI but is slow, you still might not be able to get your money back, even if you drop the price completely for several months. So high volume is often safer. You can make changes quicker. And if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Feel free to put them in the chat. We've mostly been talking about so far what I've been up to in June and what the plan is for July. Big plan for the next week at least is to be doing live streams. I want to do at least 4 live streams this week. So probably tomorrow I'll probably do a live stream. I think Thursday I won't, but Wednesday I will. And even without the habit of having a live stream, we already have 5 people in here, so that's pretty cool. Welcome, everyone. But yeah, to sum this up about high ROI versus volume, I would probably say high volume is better because you can at least move your stuff and get it sold quicker if you have to, if you make a mistake, if you find a better opportunity somewhere else. If it's high ROI, but there's no sales velocity there, you could have your price, cut it in half, and it still wouldn't sell for 3 months. Hey, what's up, Josiah? Good to see you. I just got your message, Josiah. Don't tell her. So Josiah and I use the same prep center, and it's been horrible recently. It's, yeah, there's been some items that have been sitting in her warehouse for 5 weeks now, maybe getting close to 6 weeks now. And I sent her a very, very straightforward message today. Got to get my items moving. Josiah, we could just send her an email every day. We could just draft and schedule send. I've been paying her to send your units into my account. Oh, please no. I have credit card bills to pay. Stern Seth. I had to get a little bit present before I sent that email so that I didn't just rip into her, because I was pretty mad, to be completely honest. trying to have some empathy for her. She had a lot of employees leave, but it's been over a month, so got to balance being stern and kind. I wonder if people do that, Josiah. That would be awful. Just be like, yo, I'll give you $300 if you dump $5,000 of this person's inventory into my inventory. You can just say it never arrives. And it was so sad about this prep center too. A couple of my friends were using it, and so they told me about it, and other people heard about it, and then more people heard about it, and it just went downhill so fast. It happens though. I bet some prep centers steal the good ASINs for their own accounts. Yeah, I think that's one reason people don't want to use prep centers, because they're like, oh, if I tell them where my source is and like everything, why wouldn't they just sell the same stuff? They have a point. Erica's like, oh, I said her name. Anyone who knows the prep center will know. But yeah, maybe she lost a bunch of employees, but she lost a bunch of employees so that she could source all these products. I hope not. Yeah, that's another reason why when Amazon sellers that are like on social media have a prep center, I'm a little nervous to use their prep center. I mean, I guess for us it's a little different. Sourcing the way we source is not as straightforward, I think, because most stuff isn't actively available all the time. Yeah. Yeah, she just gets all her stuff and like puts it in the box and sends it to like iLogistics. And then they screw her over too. That would be pretty funny. Prep center arbitrage. They literally just forward everything to a cheaper prep center. That's some high-tech stuff. I bet your Turo is hitting hard recently. It's like, it's weird to say, but it's getting close to the middle of summer. All those people traveling to Alaska. Starting to lose daylight. So sad. Man, it's so sad that you can only stay up until 11:02 with the sun being up instead of 11. Man, that's rough. But I don't know. Like, it's probably even longer than that, isn't it? We're sad about that too. It's like, it's just so nice to have the sun out until like close to 9 p.m. here. We're in Colorado. It's just so nice to go on a walk at the end of the day. And like to go on a walk at the end of the day at 4 p.m. in the winter is not the best. Summer's so good. Turo has been good. June was a crazy record month. July is on track to smash that. I was listening to Buy Box Bandits a couple days ago. I think Garrett and Danny were saying they were thinking about getting into Turo. They wanted to like try something different, I think. I bet Alaska in the summer just like destroys with Turo. I should use a Turo just like for myself personally. It would be cool to see how different it is than just like renting a car. Because I feel like sometimes I get sketched out at car rental places. Because they say like it's a certain like amount per day. But then they like in Miami, for example, they said it was a certain amount per day, but then they made me sign up for a like a toll pass. And there were two choices, they said. I think it was like you can either not have the pass for $210 or you can have the pass for $240. So there was no third option there. So that was interesting. I feel like Turo, people are pretty incentivized to like have good ratings probably. Man, this is a good point. It's funny that a bunch of local Turo people are whining about the market being too saturated. The stuff hosts they whine about is so similar to Amazon sellers. The fees are too high. There's no money. I feel like in every business, people like complain about it being saturated. You're so right. It's I feel like it's just a matter of being good at what you're doing. When it comes to Amazon, when it comes to Turo, when it comes to eBay. And like you feel bad because like the people who complain that usually like number one, they're just kind of sour, which sucks. But then also number two, like they often like haven't had the best time of it. They like underwent some kind of loss, or they just spent a bunch of time and they like never got good at it and they think it's saturated. So you feel bad, but then on the other hand, it's unfortunate. People say that on eBay too. People also say, oh man, like Amazon in 2022, like it's dead. Retail arbitrage in 2022, it's dead. I'm sure people say that about Turo. People definitely say that about eBay. But the thing is, people have been saying that about the same platforms 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Maybe not Amazon 10 years ago, but definitely 5 years ago. And yes, it is saturated, but like, you need to just get better at sourcing. Not you, Josiah, you're great at sourcing, but the people who think it's saturated. Oh, Airbnb too. A good tip for doing Airbnb is to not try and do it in an HOA where it's prohibited. That unfortunately happened to my parents. They didn't see the fine print. So that was a bummer. But it wasn't their like livelihood or anything, so it worked out. But Josiah, have you gotten into Airbnb yet? I think you said you were gonna, that was a direction that you're going. I don't know if that was like within a month or like within the next 3 years, but yeah, so it was just on their primary residence. They had a basement, and they finished a basement because, like, first of all, they just wanted a nicer basement, and also they wanted like nice guest rooms for when they had people come, and then they also wanted to use it as an Airbnb. So they were gonna buy the house anyways, and I don't think they looked at the fine print and even knew that they were gonna do Airbnb. But then they listed it on Airbnb. They had people coming for several months, and the HOA contacted them and said, "This is definitely not allowed. This has been in our contract." My parents had contacted them before saying that they thought they had received the green light for it, but apparently they hadn't. So they had to pay a lot of fees. I think they ended up having to pay a lot of the, like, how much they made from Airbnb in fees. So that was a huge bummer. My mom is a rock star decorating. She had like a whole fall theme, and like they installed like a door and stuff to make it like a separate part of the house. I mean, I guess I focus on the practical stuff like that, but she is good at decorating. Not yet. Longer term goal, perhaps in the next year or so. So you guys would probably like put a down payment on a property and Airbnb it out. Like that would be its main thing. Yeah, it's a weird thing because I feel like you guys are still enjoying Turo and putting money in Turo. So it's like, at what point will you have money for a down payment? Because you could just buy more cars. Peter Pan Airbnb. That would be funny. Yeah, super homey. Is there a time when sourcing clicked, or was there a game changer for your sourcing? I think the biggest game changer for my sourcing with how I do things now is when I was helping like our parents move out of their business, and there were a lot of like random old used items to sell. And seeing those items sell, and like actually having the confidence that they sell and the prices at which they sold, and then seeing that on eBay they actually go for much less, that was the biggest game changer for my sourcing, because I had the confidence that like this thing sold for $230 and it sold within 2 weeks of it being active. Being able to replicate that and see like, oh, this thing like is selling for $110 on eBay, like why not try and pick one up? I think that was the moment that sourcing, at least in this way, clicked for me the most. And then also back even like 2 years ago when I was doing eBay, I was extremely persistent about looking up the eBay solds for items that I didn't even like know anything about. And having that skill of like quickly looking up solds and having an idea of how much an item goes for is such an important skill when it comes to reselling. So just like being curious in that way has been awesome. It's been really helpful. So yeah, the property is going to be dedicated to Airbnb, and trying to decide how many cars to go for. Do we get a parking lot property or a rustic cabin property? Yeah, it's I've never done Turo, so I don't know like the return on investment and stuff. At what point managing it gets harder. And what do you mean a parking lot property? Like more of like a suburban or like apartment type of property, or like and then a rustic cabin is more like a touristy getaway type of property. What's on my Amazon docket this week? So writing that stern email to Erica was on my docket. I have so many removal orders. I have like, remember when you were talking about how you had like, I think you had like 5,000 worth of stuff, and you're like, yeah, I think it's time to list those things. I'm kind of in a similar boat. There's been a lot of removal orders, and I removal ordered a bunch of stuff that was just unit only. I'm basically wanting to cut down on as many situations as possible where a customer can get mad and file a counterfeit claim. So I'm going to be selling those with cords or liquidating those on eBay. Get a property in town near the airport that has an Airbnb plus enough parking to store our Turo cars. So like potentially you'll buy a property, but it'll be like connected to a parking lot or something. That would be a cool double purchase to it. Because you guys have too many cars to just park outside your house at this point. And that is a good problem to have. I'll probably be getting off pretty soon here, but it's been awesome talking to you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out. It's always fun to talk to both of you guys. I'll be seeing Christiana pretty soon. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of cool ways to reinvest Amazon profits, whether it's Turo, whether it's Airbnb. I'm looking into ticket reselling recently. That seems like a pretty secure way, if I know what I'm doing, to continue to flip money. All right. Have a good night, guys. See ya.